no. I'm overdue. I'm really in a stew. No time to say goodbye. Hello, I'm late.
My, what a peculiar place to have a party. You know, Dinah, we really shouldn't be doing this. After all, we haven't been invited, and curiosity often leads to trouble. Goodbye, Dinah. Goodbye.
The Stone Vet. I hit the ground running when I'm invading your country. It's still with honor and discipline. Throw my guns like onyx, dressed in camo with ammo for every situation I handle. They got us marching.
What's up, guys? RNG here from the STONED VET USMC. I'm super excited to be here with you guys this week, man. Like I tell you guys on every week, it's an amazing journey that I get to have with you guys shooting this podcast, right? Go figure. I'm at where I'm at after 2 years of doing this craziness, man. And, you know, I give it up to my wife because it's because of her that I decided to jump on a microphone. And look at this microphone, dude. You can't beat that. That's awesome. A Shure M7 microphone, dude. You cannot beat this microphone, dude. This is one of my awards for winning the Veteran Podcast Awards, right? And I can't win these awards without you guys, man. If you guys are watching over on YouTube, man, if you're listening on Spotify, iTunes, Pandora, iHeartRadio, however you listen to this podcast, man, you guys are missing out on great episodes. I put a lot of work into my episodes, and guess what? I don't pay somebody to edit my videos. I edit all my videos, and I put a lot of work into it. So if you're watching over there on YouTube, remember, don't forget to hit that like, subscribe, and share button, man. Share this content, man. That's the only way we're going to get bigger than Joe Rogan. The only way, man. But you guys can see these beautiful awards, right? I got to turn my award on. I forgot to turn my award on. I got these beautiful awards here, right? I got this beautiful crystal award here. Chronic Palooza 2022 Top Podcast Award. VPA Veteran Podcast Awards 2021 Veteran 1, right? You guys see it. I got it all right here, right? You see that winner, Top Marine Corps Podcast, man. Veteran Podcast Awards is upon us again this year, man. Voting just opened up August 8th and goes until September 18th. If you're listening in, man, get over there and vote. I have it in the description box. However you listen to the show, it's in the description box. I got a hyperlink. All you got to do is click that hyperlink. It's going to send you straight over. It's going to send you straight over to vote for the best Top Marine Corps podcast. There's two categories that I saw was overall podcast and Marine Corps podcast. They have all the branches, but the Marine Corps is the best branch. We all know the Marine Corps is the best branch. My guest this evening will be able to tell you all about it. This afternoon she'll be able to tell you all about the best branches, right? But if you guys are watching, like I said, you watch on YouTube, you see that right there, right? You got my cool logo that's nice and shiny, created by none other than the founder of Broken Jarhead, Shane. He created that logo for me, a nice and shiny logo to catch your eyes. Underneath it is him, Veteran Podcast Awards. He created the Veteran Podcast Awards because he felt as though Marine podcaster or military veteran podcasters don't have an award show, and we should have one, right? And of course, Chronic Palooza, right? You guys see that? So I'm doing it, right? And nobody's being able to bring you the content that I'm giving you on a regular basis, man. I got plenty of guests. I've had Maddie. I don't know if you guys know Maddie. Maddie's a great friend of mine. He's a good friend of mine. He's a brother. He's another brother in arms, and he's always sending me great podcasts to listen to, right? And I'll get listening to, and I'll get into them, and then I look, and I'm like, these guys haven't created content in a year, haven't created content in 2 years, you know. They stopped creating content. They made like 50 episodes and they quit making content, man. I'm sitting at like over 140 episodes right now, right? You guys already know, y'all, along my journey, the first year was bringing veterans on to help enlighten us to figure out, what do I do after serving my country? Like, that's one of the biggest struggles we have is like, what do we do after we serve our country? So RNG ain't telling me what to do, when to do it, how to do it. He's not telling me the uniform of the day. He ain't telling me when I can go to lunch. He ain't telling me nothing no more. So RNG ain't doing that no more. I got to figure out how to do it, right? So that you guys remember all those amazing veterans that started their own small business to try to make it after serving our country. And then this year, you guys know my passion this year is fighting for federal legalization of cannabis, right? I just read an article today. There's a Marine combat veteran that works in Florida. He works for the corrections department in the state of Florida, where medical cannabis is legal. And they fired him for using medical cannabis. He's a medical patient. So similar here in Oklahoma, we're a medical state. And I believe state employees are able to use, right? I have to dig more into it, but I believe state employees are able to use it, except like the police and the firefighters for whatever reason. But that's another battle that we're dealing with. Like Tony Landry out of Louisiana, he's fighting that battle for our local police and firefighters as well, you know. But I mean, it's been crazy. So you guys understand my passion, right? Look, you see it. You guys see it right there. Freedom for cannabis. It's a plant. It's green. It grows outside like trees. It's a plant. It's a weed. You know, it's a weed, man. So, but you know me, guys. You know my wonderful passion for this amazing plant, man. I want to give a huge shout out to my sponsor, Rafa 180. Rafa 180 provides you the best medicinal grade CBD on the market, hands down. Like I tell you guys every episode, you guys catch my Wednesday episodes, you guys catch my Friday episodes. I'm trying to figure out Thursday. We have some issues with our platforms to be able to broadcast live, but maybe it's just me. I don't know. But like I tell you guys, Rafa 180 provides you the best medicinal grade THC-free CBD on the market. So if you are in a state or you do hold a position where you cannot pop hot on a UA, go check out Rafa 180 because, like I tell you guys every week, man. If you don't believe you have an endocannabinoid system, go to nih.gov, novemberindiahotel.gov. It tells you the endocannabinoid system and how you have to replenish it, how you go about replenishing it. You have to replenish your endocannabinoid system because it does a lot for your body, and you guys won't even realize it. But this is a government website telling you why the endocannabinoid system plays such a key role in living a good life, man. So the only way to replenish it is by cannabinoids. Cannabidiol. Cannabis. Right? Endocannabinoid. So go check out Rafa180.com. That's Romeo Alpha Papa Hotel Alpha 180.com to get all your medicinal grade CBD needs. When you check out with the Stone Vet USMC, get 15% off your entire purchase. Spend $75 or more, you get free priority shipping to your front door. Like 2 days max, dude. It's like Amazon, dude. 2 days max be on your front door and you'll be able to start medicating using plant-based medicine, man. I'm super excited today. Guys. I am able to bring on a sister. I don't know if I should tell what branch. What's going on, Brittany? How you doing today?
Hey, everyone. Hi, Juan. Thank you so much for having me on. I'm really excited to be here, so thank you.
No, absolutely. I'm super excited to be here. So I'm bringing on a Chair Force veteran, guys. You guys know me in the Chair Force. I work for the Chair Force. And I'm going to tell you, hands down, as of what I know, the worst branch to work for. Hands down. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I don't know what to say. I don't know. I think you guys think you're too smart for everybody. You guys make everything so difficult for everybody else, right? But I don't know, man. I'm super excited. So my brothers Trey and Jose, it was funny, right? It was funny. Jose and Trey, you guys have seen them. I've had them on a couple of episodes previous to Brittany, and it's funny because they went to a conference over at the Oklahoma GOP here in the city. And they the first thing they did as soon as the conference was over, both of them messaging me, dude, you have got to get this girl on your show. Like, she is an Air Force veteran and she knows what the hell she's talking about. She is doing things for the veteran community and understanding plant-based medicines and how it helps. Dude, you have got, and this was freaking months ago. Like, this girl's hard to get a hold of. Dude, this girl, you should see, she showed me her calendar, her book. She showed me the whole freaking calendar was full of, I was like, golly, you are a busy girl. So I'm super excited you're able to carve a day out to be able to come out and hang out with the Stone Vet today, Brittany.
I'm super excited to be here. Thank you. And I'm glad we finally made it happen. We have been talking for a while. So finally.
Yeah, for months. I mean, we've been talking for probably like 3-4 months trying to get this. I mean, with the move, school, and everything else, right? It's been crazy, you know? And so I'm super excited. Why don't you tell the audience a little bit about your journey serving our country?
I will. So again, my name's Brittany. I was in the great United States Air Force, best branch. But definitely didn't spend much time in a chair, that's for sure. I joined back in 2008. I became a jet engine mechanic, so aerospace propulsionist on the KC-135s, also known as the refuelers. So those were my babies. Worked on the flight line in Okinawa and at Kadena Air Base for a while. And I loved being in the Air Force. I felt a sense of camaraderie and purpose and fulfillment, and really loved it. Later on in my career, I joined the reserves and became a med tech medic, and then later got out to become a registered nurse. So I am a registered nurse. But I guess part of what led me down the journey of utilizing cannabis, or plant medicine, I should say, is something that happened to me in the service. So I had a wonderful career. But my first night in Okinawa was my birthday. And I got there, I was a new A1C, and flew in, and my supervisor picked me up from the airport and, you know, got me settled in my dorm. And then we went out. I don't know, a lot of you who've been to Okinawa had Gate 1 Street. Was it Gate 1? Gate 1?
Gate 2.
No, Gate 2.
Gate 2.
Gate 2 Street.
Gate 2.
Yeah, because now it's Gate 1 that's fun, but Gate 2 Street. So, and came back on base, and yeah, I had had a little too much to drink, and as some people have, but I ended up getting sexually assaulted by my supervisor my first night, my first meeting.
No, not you, not a female freaking veteran getting freaking sexually assaulted, man. You guys know, you guys listening on the show, I've had quite a few guests on my show, and females, right? Females, and I didn't realize how much MST happens serving your country. Like, I've never, like, for me, I was an engineer, so I had one female that I worked with in Okinawa, but I wouldn't even really call her a female. Like, she was like a dude. Like, she put dips in, she redhead, real skinny, she looked like a dude. Like, she looked like a dude. And and I never messed with female. I didn't actually work with females until I got to my second duty station in New River, North Carolina. And all they did was work in the office. They were mechanics like me, but they just worked in the office. And I was like, oh, because they're females, they get to work in the office, and I get to sweat my ass off outside, But I never realized, and I talked to my wife about it. I said, I never realized how many of you females, how many women get sexually assaulted, And I guess it's huge, I mean, and it sucks for you guys, because you're like, why? Because I'm pretty, you're gonna come and sexually assault me, or whatever the case may be,
Unfortunately, it is pretty prevalent. I have two people, don't want to mention who they are because I'm on a podcast, but that followed joining the military after me that were females, and they both had a similar experience. So unfortunately, it is pretty prevalent and common. A lot of it goes unreported, and now I understand why, because at the time that mine happened, I actually did not want to report it. I was, a new airman there. The last thing I wanted following me to my first duty station, especially as a female in a maintenance
and you don't
unit.
Want to be classified as that, right? You get to your next duty station, whatever happens. Right. Yeah, that girl, yeah.
Yeah. So I actually remained silent about it for a very long time and just kind of coped on it on my own. And then it was one day, he had ended up being a little bit hard on me at work and whatnot. And I was kind of pushing back because of, this toxic relationship that we had. And he got upset with me and kind of punished me with an undoable amount of work. And so I went into the bathroom, and it was the middle of the night. I was on night shift, and I went in and I slammed the door, and I just kind of went off. And we had a staff sergeant female that was in the bathroom at the time. And she's like, whoa, what's going on? And I just kind of let it all fall out of my mouth. This happened. He thinks he can this, and then order me to that, blah, blah, blah. And I just let it rip. And she consoled me and whatnot. But a few days later, I got called into our captain's office, and he had mentioned that it had been brought to his attention. And in the military, if you kind of report a military sexual trauma, you can choose whether it's opened up to be an investigation or if it's like completely silent. Right. And you lose that right when it's reported by somebody else. So because I hadn't self-reported and it had been reported by somebody else, we were now going to do it the way that I had been avoiding for so long. So I opened up this huge investigation and with OSI and, being interviewed all the time, my supervisor being interviewed, all of our coworkers being interviewed, our supervisors, anybody who knew us, people in the dorms, it went all over. So everybody ended up knowing what was going on. And I'd say that the actual investigation became more traumatic than the actual event itself. Just because there was no privacy, and the way that it happens, a lot of females, I think, that can tell you is it kind of feels like you're being, what's the word? Interrogated.
Right.
And so, so it was really hard. Eventually it ended up being his word against mine. And, we parted different units, went separate ways, and that kind of thing. I didn't realize, and the reason why I bring up the story is because I didn't realize that, you could develop PTSD for something like that. Usually you think about PTSD being, you go to war, or you see these horrible things, or, you watch.
No, absolutely. And that's one of the biggest things. That's what I try. That's one thing when I first started my podcast, one of the biggest things I try to explain to the audience that is listening in, that PTSD isn't about deploying. It's not about being deployed. I said, when you graduate boot camp, that's PTSD, dude. Like, I mean, you got put through a lot of crap. Like, I mean, you weren't assaulted or whatever, but I mean, it put you through a lot of crap, right? PTSD, I mean, it's traumatic, right? It is post-traumatic, right? And that's what I try to tell a lot of people, And when I meet veterans, they're like, well, I didn't do nothing while I was in. I said, well, you're blessed. Like, I mean, you are honestly blessed that you didn't have to deploy, or you didn't have to deal with a lot of the stupid crap, I said, that's a blessing. You should look at it like that, Well, I shouldn't know. It's cool, dude. I mean, if you didn't, that's fine, dude. That's cool. You didn't deploy. I wish I would have had that wonderful opportunity, because I wouldn't be as screwed up as I am today if I had not deployed, because my wife will tell you, after my first deployment back in 2003 for the invasion, you came back. She's like, you were not the same dude like when you left. And I was like, it sucks, and it's psychological, right? It's a psychological thing. And like you're saying, I mean, that's PTSD, like, for what you encountered while you were serving. I mean, it sucks. Like, and I'm sure you still live with it on a daily basis. It's one of those things. Some days are a lot harder than others, right?
So it used to be a lot harder, and that's kind of what set me off on my journey with plant medicine. So, following all of that, I was diagnosed with like ADHD, anxiety, depression, PTSD, and all the things. I was then placed on a plethora of pharmaceutical medications, antidepressants, anti-anxiety medications, Xanax, Adderall, all the things. And I kind of found myself in a downward spiral for a while. I would wake up in the morning, I would take my Adderall so I could get going, focus, do things, get out of bed. Right. And then, along with the antidepressants. And then in the evening, I would take my Xanax, to try to come down off the Adderall or beat the daily panic attacks, especially panic attacks that I'd have in the evening because of what had happened. Right. So, and then, sometimes the Xanax wasn't enough. So then I'd reach for a couple beers to really try to drop me down and get some rest. Then I'd wake up in the morning feeling like shit naturally and take an Adderall to wake up and start all over again, right?
And this was all while you were serving? All these pills were while you were serving?
This was after. Once
after
I got out, okay. I like a lot,
yeah, okay.
You go to finally get your help once you get out and find out all the things that are wrong and kind of, go through the VA system, doing the best that they can, but just found myself in the spiral. Right. And I was getting burnt out. Like, I realized I can't live my life this way. I have children. I have a life. I have a lot to be grateful for, right? Like, I'm a nurse. I have all these wonderful things. And a life that anybody would be grateful for, but I was just having panic attacks. I was depressed. I was, living in these behavioral cycles and just I had heard of a plant medicine known as ayahuasca. I don't know if a lot of you have heard of it.
Oh no, a lot of you guys know. I know. I had Trey on here. I've had Trey on here. I've had the Mindful Marine, Chris Shriver's on here, and they talk about their journey using ayahuasca. And I was like, that sounds too intense, dude. Like that is. I mean, but it's all plant based medicine, guys. This is one thing I tell you guys. You guys know me. Plant based medicine has been around for thousands of years, dude. Like. I mean, how do you think our ancestors did it? They didn't just go to the pharmacy. They didn't go talk to a doctor to get on a muscle relaxer. They used plants to help treat spasms and aches and pains, right? And so you had your own journey, right? You went and did your own. You went to Peru, right, and did your own journey with ayahuasca, correct?
Yeah. So I was like, okay, something's got to give, because it sounded like a really hard experience. I watched videos, saw people throwing up and having diarrhea on the documentaries, and I was like, this sounds horrible. But I heard the testimonials of people afterwards. And so I was like, okay, if I have to go face all my shit, all my demons, all my stuff for 6-7 hours and come out the other side like somewhat cleaned up, I'm in. So I booked a trip to Peru, went down to Peru to the Amazon by myself. It was a reputable retreat. Just putting this out there for anybody who ever is interested in utilizing ayahuasca, to make sure that you are using a reputable place. You want to be well taken care of and know that your medicine's good and that whoever's taking care of you is good. So just definitely be smart about it. Don't just book a place because it's cheaper. But anyways, went down there and like had 4 ceremonies. And my life has been forever, ever changed. I haven't had to take any pharmaceutical since. Was completely done with Adderall, antidepressants, Xanax, quit drinking, except, when I go out and want to have like a beer or something, Yeah. So changed my life around. So then I became aware that plant medicine was the thing and could heal people. So came back to the States and decided, because I was a nurse, I wanted to get into somehow helping people and wanted to get into psychedelic assisted therapy. At the time, I applied for a school. At the time, I almost made it, didn't get quite in. So I just kind of set on this journey of preparing myself to help others with plant medicine. And as a lot of people know, we're like in phase 3 trials right now with MDMA, and they've got trials going with psilocybin that are 80% successful on depression, anxiety, PTSD, addiction, just these amazing results with these plant medicines with no follow-on medication. So somebody can do therapy work, go sit with a therapist and have a journey experience, come out of it, do some more therapy work and integration, and not have to take any medications. And many of them report it's one of the most profound experiences of their entire life, up there with having a child or the death of a parent or a wedding. So people are having really profound experiences on these medicines. So anyways, I set out on this journey, wanted to do this, finally got into psychedelic assisted therapy school this past year. And right before doing that, one of the things I was doing to prepare is I had found this school called Medicinal Mindfulness in Colorado. And I found this amazing book. I'm going to show it for the people who are watching YouTube. It's called Psychedelic Cannabis, Breaking the Gates by Daniel McQueen. And read the got enrolled in his program, and it taught people how to use some of the same protocol for psychedelic assisted therapy, but utilizing cannabis. And I was reading some of the testimonials and listening to some of the stories, and people were reporting that they had cannabis journeys that were just as profound as their DMT experiences or their ayahuasca experiences or their psilocybin. And I was like, cannabis?
Yeah, right. Like
I hadn't
really.
I hadn't smoked cannabis since like I was younger, like
high school, right? Like military,
high school, like yeah, right.
Right.
So I'm like, really? So, but I kind of followed my intuition on it. I was like, this sounds like something I need to do, and it sounds like it's down the path of preparing me for psychedelic assisted therapy. So, I enrolled in the training and went through the training, and I had my first cannabis psychedelic experience within that training program. I'm serious. And my mind was blown. I could not believe that, this one thing that, we, sometimes can smoke to relax or do as medicine and all these things. It's beautiful, beautiful for so many reasons. It's such a multifaceted plant. That you could actually have a psychedelic journey on one.
Oh man.
On it. Yeah. So it's not just sitting down and, just smoking. Some people will report though that they've had experiences where they sit down and roll themselves a blunt and they have a bit too much and they have some kind of like psychoactive type experience where they're kind of like, that went really deep and I went deep in my head or deep in my body. So this is like purposely, we mix different strains and terpenes and a little bit of breath work into it and a certain experience. But yeah, it's just as profound, I have found. And I don't have to travel to Peru, spend a bunch of money on round trip airfare and which I love and I will do again. But I do believe that different plants hold different medicines for different ailments. So
no, absolutely, and that's one thing. That's what that's one thing I try to tell my audience. Right, you guys that are listening in, you guys know me. Is it scary to try something new? Right. Yeah, it's scary. It's like she said, she was on a cocktail. Like many of you guys that are listening in on the show, you guys are on the same cocktail, right? Taking between 10 to 30 pills a day to try to live a somewhat normal life, right? That's one of the biggest struggles we have, right? Like me, myself, right now, I've gotten to the point now where I'm actually taking an antidepressant and a mood stabilizer right now. Like me not being on cannabis has affected my relationship with my spouse and my children. And it sucks, right? Because they were able to see how effective cannabis was for me with my demons that I deal with, right? We all have our demons that we deal with. We have demons that we're under attack on a daily basis. You guys know that I am spiritual, that I have my relationship with Christ and stuff like that, right? I'm not a perfect Christian by any means, right? But I have my relationship with Christ, and I know when I'm wrong, I know when I'm wrong and it sucks. And that's some of the demons that I deal with, right? Are all my actions that I've pursued, right? And this is one of the things that I tell you guys about. Is it scary to try something new like plant-based medicine? Yeah, because you don't know nothing about it, right? And if you guys are catching my Wednesday episodes, I'm helping educate a little bit to you guys, right? I'm gathering this information. I'm getting all this information offline. That's where I'm gathering my information. I'm getting it offline, right? I'm breaking down the terpene profiles for you guys so you guys have an understanding of how the terpenes work and how you're already using the terpenes on a daily basis when you're eating or when you're cleaning or whatever it is. You are already consuming these terpenes, right? And I'm hoping that by you consuming these terpenes and I'm talking to you guys about it, you guys are like, I do feel like that today. I never thought about it, but I am a little bit not inflamed. I'm a little bit lighthearted. I'm a little, to think about it and be like, I am already using these terpenes on a daily basis, like limonene. You guys use limonene on a daily basis, whether it's cooking, whether it's freaking snacks, whether it's cleaning. How many of you guys use diffusers, right? I guarantee 90% of you guys listen to the show. If you don't use one, your spouse is using one, your girlfriend using one, your boyfriend, somebody using a diffuser, right? Everybody loves diffusers. Brittany can tell you, everybody loves diffusers, right? Because of the essential oil. What's in the essential oil? Terpenes. Terpenes are in the essential oil. That's what stabilizes the area. That's what stabilizes the room, the aura of the room, right? Lavenders and eucalyptus and limonene and all these other scents, right, that we like, like sandalwood and all these. They have terpenes in it, right? But this is what's great about these amazing people. Like I told you guys, dude, you guys know my network. I have a ton of people that I know, right? Now I got Brittany. Brittany's right up the street from me, dude. She's not far at all from me. And I already told her, I said, once my journey is done with this freaking probation stuff, I got by the time you guys watch this, I'll have like 73 days or so left, right? It's almost over. And I already told her, I said, we're going to sit down and you're going to take me through this breathworks, cannabis, DMT type stuff, right? Because I believe in it. I believe it truly helps. Because even my wife, right? My wife is always telling me, because I use shrooms, you know what I'm saying? I've used them before. And she sends me reports. She reads scientific studies that are being done here in the U.S. Right? I mean, there's all kinds of universities at Stanford, freaking Yale. All these people are doing studies, right?
Johns Hopkins University. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, on top, and yourself as well, right? Doing studies, right? Scientific research studies, and she's like, it's saying here, it's rewiring your brain, like it's going through. You know, I told her one time I had a bad trip, and I was like, never again. I don't even want to touch it no more, right? I still got a shelf full, and I'm like, I don't even want to mess with it, right? But I mean, it's like you said though, with your ayahuasca journey, you're like, I've got to do something. Do I spend the next 6 to 7 hours facing it face to face, or do I keep running from it for the rest of my life? And that's definitely something that we got to think about, right?
Exactly. And there's so many factors that go into it. So like I hear people say, you know, they've had a bad trip or they're afraid of having a bad trip. And as I told you the other day, I don't believe in bad trips. I believe in difficult journeys. So in a journey space, before we enter this space, we want to pay super close attention to our set and setting. So we're looking at mindset and setting. So our mindset going into this, why am I doing this? Am I doing this to party? Am I doing this to do some work? How am I feeling going into this? Is my life falling apart? Am I put together? You know, that kind of part. And then you've got setting, right? So am I doing it at a concert with a bunch of people and I might start to feel like crowded, or am I with the right people? Am I in a safe environment where someone can look out for me, or somebody that can actually guide me if it comes to the point where I need some guidance? So we want to look out for set and setting, and also support, right? The kind of support we have in that situation. So people that report bad trips usually, you know, and it could have maybe not had the best set or setting, or may have had a good, you know, a decent one, but maybe the support wasn't there. So we do have difficult journeys sometimes. And the reason why, and I, you know, some of my best lessons have come from difficult journeys. But when we're in that space, you know, we used to think that our minds were set. Like once our mind developed and the neural pathways were set, they were just set. The scientists are proving there's a thing called neuroplasticity. And so we do have the ability to change our minds, literally. So what's happening in these psychedelic experiences, and the way I've heard it been told, and a lot of people tell it this way, is like, if you've been skiing, you may envision like a ski slope. The more people that go down a ski slope, it kind of starts to carve a divot, right? You have this divot, and that's just the ski slope. And say you want to get out of that little divot, and you try to get out of it. You kind of lean to the right, but you kind of get sucked back into that divot that everybody's carved, and it's really hard to get out of. Well, that's kind of how our neural pathways are in our brain. We've carved a pathway. That's just how our mind runs on autopilot. Now, what psychedelics do is they come in and they lay a fresh powder of snow. So now we don't have these carved divots or these pathways. And this is now an opportunity for us, you know, and this is where it gets really important, because people think, oh, I'm going to take psilocybin or ayahuasca and I'm going to be good. It's not a one pill fix all. I'd say that it'd be nice. The psychedelic journey is maybe 10% of it. The rest of it is integration, right? We have to recarve those pathways. We have to choose what we want that path looks like. We want to go down that slope how we want it to look. And so it's integrating the lessons you've learned and whatnot. So anyways, sometimes those difficult journeys happen because something comes up that's uncomfortable. It may be a feeling of anxiety or depression or like grief or any of, you know, anything. And it comes up, and the first thing we want to do is protect ourselves. We want to run from it. We want to distract ourselves.
No, what are you talking about?
Look at this. I don't want to look at this. And so we try to run from it. And then what's going to happen? It starts to scream louder at us because it really is trying to get our attention. So in those spaces, it's an opportunity to stop and listen. Hey, okay, I hear this feeling of anxiety. Where is it coming from? And approaching it and see what's trying to come up to be healed in that space. Right. And really working with it and you know, finding the lesson in the journey.
No, you're absolutely right. You know, like you said, like you said, I mean, especially with all the how you said it's like putting that fresh powder of snow, right? That fresh powder of snow that goes down, right? And that's one of the things I've done. I've done the research, and I've looked at the research, and it's like you said, like I tell you guys, like, I mean, in the Marine Corps, we already know the hardest freaking boot camp is Marine Corps boot camp, right? Hands down, right? And one of the things I try to tell people, I said what they do in boot camp is that they break you down to make you feel like nothing, right? And then they build you back up as the way they need you to serve this country, to serve in this branch, right? So they cut those nerve endings, right? Emotional nerve endings that we had when we joined, right? They cut those off because what do they tell you? You become emotionally connected, you die, right? You become emotionally connected, you die, right? And serving, like I said, I served for 9 years, right? And there's a lot there. That journey alone, there was so much, right? There was so much we had to do. There was so much I had to do. There was so much of this, so much of that, right? And you cannot become emotionally connected, but then that bleeds into your relationships with your boyfriends, your girlfriends, your kids, your spouse, whatever, right? I've been out since 2009, guys. It's 2022, and I still have issues with being there emotionally for my spouse, being there emotionally for my kids, right? I still have those issues, right? And it's like you said, it was a bad journey that I went on, right? It was a bad journey that I went on, right? And that's one thing that when we were sitting down having lunch the other day is like, I was always told if you were ever going to do something like that, that you had to be in the right mindset, right? You have to be, like you were saying, you have to be in a good mindset to be like, why am I doing this?
We would like to give a huge thanks to Rafa 180. Rafa 180 offers pure medicinal CBD and products made locally. They walk alongside individuals to achieve a healthy lifestyle with options needed by each person. You can learn more about them on Facebook at Rafa CBD. Their website, www.
Am I doing this to help treat something? Or am I doing this just to have fun? Right? Similar to cannabis, right? Like I tell people, is it okay to overindulge in cannabis? Yeah. I mean, everybody does it. Like if you drink, some of y'all overindulge in alcohol and you wake up hungover the next day and you're like, I feel like crap. I overindulge in cannabis. I'm going to wake up and like, damn, that was a good night of sleep. Let's go do something, you know? I'm gonna go, let's go fishing. Let's go mow the yard. Let's go do something, right? But this is one of the things that I try to tell my audience, right? I mean, it's something you definitely got to do research on. You have to do research on this. You have to see, can this work, right? I'm not telling you guys to stop taking all your pharmaceuticals. I mean, Brittany here, she's an RN, right? I think you're going for your doctorate as well. Is that correct?
I'm in my master's, not my doctorate, but master's.
Not yet. She's in her master's. She's a nurse getting her master's. She's gonna be big time. Before you know it, she'll be calling me, hey, I'm going for my doctorate. I'm like, damn, fucking smart ass fucking people, dude. But I mean, this is one of the things that I'm telling you guys about. And I can tell you, right? But this is why I love having guests on my show that can tell you about their journey. Right? Mm-hmm. Like this just isn't a one-sided Sergeant G type thing. Sergeant G just wants to smoke weed. No. I'm telling you, this is why I bring these amazing guests on my show to be able to sit down with you guys and tell you about these journeys that they've had, about how this has helped them, how this has helped them get off all those damn pills the VA shoves down our throat and say, hey, I'm taking my life back, right? You guys know you guys fought in wars, right? 20 years you guys fought in wars, depending on however long you served. Hell, if you only did 4 years, you probably spent the fucking whole 4 years in Iraq and Afghanistan. Guaranteed, hands down. You know? Especially you Army guys. You guys stay deployed forever, you know? So this is one of the things, right? This is one of the things that we talk about that we suffer from is a bunch of these pills that we're taking. We're taking a crap ton of pills on a daily basis. And it's like Brittany tell you, she had her handful of pills that she had to take to live a normal life, right? Because of what she encountered while serving our country. A lot of things she had to deal with, right? And she had a lot of pills, you know? But now that she's actually sat down, right, and conducted her own research, and how can this help me? How will this work? How, you know? And now she's actually working here in Oklahoma. You actually got your own research project going on. Is that right?
Correct. So it is in the proposal process right now. I'm a student at OU. I am on a little break right now, but going back in the spring. But we started writing a proposal for cannabis-assisted like counseling and therapy work. It's in the very early stages, so it hasn't been completely approved yet, but we're pretty optimistic. We've also spoke with a few other universities that are out there. I know the University of Utah Baylor, I believe it's Berkeley. There's several universities that are getting together and they're starting to do the research on cannabis assisted therapy work. So again, we were talking earlier about all this research that's happening with psilocybin and MDMA, and it has beautiful, promising results. And somehow we've overlooked cannabis for this. Cannabis is beautiful in a lot of ways medically. You brought up terpenes earlier. And it helps with depression and anxiety and so many things, but it can also help with our mental health and in a therapeutic setting. So the goal is to do some research. We're trying to team with Medicinal Mindfulness. They are putting together a lot of research. I want to say research team, but like avenues, they're providing a lot of the research to the people that are doing research. They have a lot of patients there that go there for cannabis assisted therapy. They also have a ketamine clinic there as well. But just providing, questionnaires like the depression questionnaire, anxiety questionnaire, PTSD questionnaires to the clients, and then them following them over time, and then the research being distributed. So it's pretty exciting.
That is exciting. That's super exciting to be doing that. For you to be like a master's student, going for your master's, then to be conducting a research, right? That's what overall, and then this is actually going to be like legit research. This isn't just let me do something for my school so I can get my credit, right? This is like actual research project that can actually be beneficial for the nation to be able to see, hey, look, here's another research project that has been done. Screw you, FDA. Look what I'm showing you. Here are my numbers. Here are my doctor certifications showing you that we conducted these studies correctly,
Which is so important and so needed right now. I'm having a hard time believing, that it's not federally legal yet, and that, the FDA can't research it yet because it's not legal. But, back a long time ago before cannabis got, outlawed and all of that, we used to cook with terpenes. We put it in our food and we were healthier. Granted, there's a lot of correlations to the bad health right now, but you could see a steady decline in the health once cannabis was made illegal and we quit using cannabis. And you had mentioned the endocannabinoid system earlier. We do have an endocannabinoid system, and it's all over our body, and there's different receptors for different things. And so if the endocannabinoid system gets out of homeostasis, we become ill. We start to have issues like anxiety, depression, high cholesterol, all these different things that cause our body to be unwell. And then we've got Big Pharma that comes in and is going to fix that with, these pills that have multiple side effects. They're going to give us another pill to help that side effect. But we can't touch cannabis because it's illegal. It's illegal,
because it can't bring them money.
And I believe it was made illegal on purpose for many reasons.
Absolutely. Like I said, it's Congress that they're trying to figure out how can I get rich off of this? If I can't get rich off of it, it needs to be illegal, right? The only reason pharmaceutical companies are in this doing it, right, because they pay their lobbyists to pay the politicians to vote for what needs to be voted for to allow these drugs in our country, right? And they're the biggest freaking drug dealers, the politicians, dude. And they're telling me I can't smoke weed, right? I can't consume a plant. A plant is what it. Look at it. You see it right there. Look, where's it at? Right there. It's a plant. It's a leaf. It's a leaf, like outside. If you go look at the trees, it's a leaf. Come on, guys. And this is one of the things I try to tell you guys about, to go out there and advocate and allow your voices to be heard, right? Where you're at in your area, whatever state you're in, whatever country you're in. The times now, man. With the movements that have been happening, especially in the U.S., the movements that have been happening, the time's now to allow your voices be heard, right? These politicians are going way too far, dude. And all it's going to take, it's like I told my wife, I said, all it's going to take is one person with enough people that are tired of what's going on to have a revolution begin, right? They say, screw this, I'm going to the Capitol, dude. I'm done listening to these people try to tell me how to run how to live in my country, right? Because I mean, majority of veterans, dude, they're already set up to take over if they need to, if it comes down to it, right? They're already set up and ready to do it, you know. And this is one of the things, is just that you guys have got to allow your voices to be heard. I mean, with Brittany here now, she's going to school for this, man. She's going to school for cannabis. She's going to school for psychedelic. She's doing, I mean, that's a passion. Like, I mean, this is a passion. Like, and she's going to make a career out of this. And this is just a step forward to where she wants to be, right? And that's one of the things, you know, because my wife asked me, she's like, well, so what do you want to do? You hate working for the government. What do you want to do? I said, no idea. I have no idea. I said, I'm almost 40 years old and I'm still like, I don't know what I want to do in my life, dude. I have no idea what I want to do in my life, you know? I want to smoke weed. I want to smoke weed. That's what I want to do. But I don't know, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, would it be cool to build houses? Maybe. I don't know how to build a house, but maybe it'd be cool to build a house, you know? Cool build cars? Yeah, it'd be cool to build cars. I don't know how, but, you know, it'd be cool. But something that you guys have got to find your passion about, right? That's one of the biggest things, guys, is that we struggle finding our passions. When we struggle finding our passions, things start to hurt. Things start to suffer, right? Our relationships. Man, I'm not just talking about spouses, boyfriends, girlfriends, kids. Even our friendships, dude. Our friendships suck. We suck being friends. We suck reaching out to each other and say, hey, how you doing today, man? I was thinking about you. I was on the crapper. I was thinking about you. I thought I'd text you while I was sitting here, not doing anything, you know, making sure you're doing okay, right? We suck, dude. We are truly on it. I'm horrible about it. I am absolutely horrible about it. I won't reach out to somebody and be like a freaking 9 months, a year later, but I better text this guy, see how he's doing. It's been a while. I haven't heard from him, you know. I got a couple of people who reach into me on you know, like a weekly basis, once a week or something. They'll reach out to me and we'll talk for a little bit. But we suck. I mean, we suck at being friends, dude, and it's horrible, right? Because we all have our own lives. We're going to work. We're trying to freaking make sure our bills are paid, making sure we're able to eat, kids are able to eat. We have our own responsibilities that we are that we run, right? We do our own responsibilities, and then we forget to have friends, right? Because my wife always tells me, she's like, you have no friends. I said, I know. I'm not a good friend. I'm not a good friend. I'm not a good friend. You know, I don't know how to invite people over to have dinner with me. You know, she has all the friends. I guess I'm friends with their spouse because she's friends because it's their spouse. I don't know, you know, and it sucks. You know, I suck at it. You know, I suck at it and I could do better, you know, but I mean, it's one of those things, right? One of those psychological mental things, right? Like you were talking about, right? We've dug that groove in. And we just stay in the groove, right? We try to get out and we get back in the groove, right? And like you said, the psychedelics are allowing to put that fresh powder of snow back down to be able to learn again, right? You're learning and you're making your own path and you're trying to become a better person, you know? And I guess I got to start taking my psychedelics again and try to start, you know.
And for those who, you know, don't want to jump straight to the psychedelics, you know, cannabis is a psychedelic. You know, people don't think of it as a classic psychedelic, but it is. And the beautiful thing about journeying with cannabis that I find too is there's a little bit more agency on it. So sometimes when you take some of what they'd call bigger medicines, but you know, like psilocybin or ayahuasca or something like that, sometimes you can find yourself, you know, just deep in it, and you get there with cannabis. But if say you have to get up and use the restroom real quick, you can kind of pause your journey, get up, use the restroom, go lie back down, return to it, and like flow back into that state. There's like just a tiny bit more agency there. So a lot of people find that a little more comforting to utilize cannabis for their journey work as like a beginning or to do in between, you know, the other plant medicines. I did want to touch on what you were just saying though, too, like in our lives and finding passion and the friends and how we suck at being friends and those kind of thing. While I was listening to you, I was reflecting on how life was in the military. And so I think this is probably a common struggle that a lot of us veterans share. In the military, you know, we had camaraderie and friends and barbecues every weekend, right, and we'd spend Thanksgiving and Christmas with our friends and all those things. And we were passionate about our job and we were filled, and you know, we poured our life into it, and we put our life on the line for our brother or sister, and that was our life, right? And you get out, and Western civilization is very individualistic. So, you know, we fall into our own lives where we're doing our own thing all by ourselves. And I think that's part of that feeling that's just kind of like that existential you know, uh, so just I think finding community and support and along the way, and I mean, I don't know about in Oklahoma. You're here. Do we have like a really good veteran community that gets together sometimes and joins together and just has barbecue and shoots the shit?
They actually have I know they have a hike coming up, the 22 something. It's for 22 veterans a day. It's coming up in October. I signed up for it. It's a 22-mile hike from Lake Hefner to the VA. I signed up for it, and I try and get my wife. So I was like, we got to start walking there. She's like, I can't walk 22 miles. I said, it's just a walk. You just put one foot in front of the other, She's like, we got to train for that. I was like, to walk? I said, okay, I mean, we can start walking and because it's like coming up in October. So, I mean, it's like in 2 months. It's like early October. It's like the first weekend in October, I think. And I told her, I said, why don't you tell your sister and her boyfriend, and because he's real athletic. He's a runner. He's part of Red Coyote and all those crazy guys that just run to run, They always ask me, say, why don't you run? I said, I ran enough in the Marine Corps. I don't need to run anymore. I'm good. I like my knees and my back too much to be running, And I'm a fat dude. I'm a heavy guy. That's a lot of weight coming down on each foot every time I got to run, And so I was like, we can walk. I mean, I think one of the convention community, I mean, I think there's some areas here in Oklahoma that are tight, but then I think there's some that are, it's like you said, though. I mean, we don't have that camaraderie, right? When we were serving our country, we had that camaraderie. Marine Corps is real tight about camaraderie, right? Even if we don't like your ass, we still got you coming over for barbecues. We still got you coming over for the holidays. We still, because you're my battle buddy, dude. If you die, I die type thing, And as we get out, it's kind of like, I don't want to see you after work, That's what I tell people. I said, I don't want to see you after work. They have like Christmas parties and stuff like that. My wife's like, why don't you go? I said, because I spend all day with them. I don't want to go freaking hang out with them at night too. Like, I don't want that. But like, if we're in the military, we'd go out and we'd bullshit with them all day, and then we'd go out at night and bullshit with them some more, But it was a whole different mindset. It was a whole different staple of how we did things, and it is hard, and even if we did have a good community here, I mean, I think it'd still be hard, right? Because we have different roles and responsibilities now, right? We're not having to go to work. We're not working on heavy equipment. We're not working on jet engines. You know what I'm saying? We don't have that commonality anymore, And I mean, it's tough. It's hard, but we do have to try to make an effort, right? We have to try to make an effort to say, hey, how you doing, man? I've been thinking about you today. How's school going? How's the baby? How's the baby going, right? And it's a journey, right? It's a journey, and that's one of the biggest things that we have to learn is, what is our journey going to be? Where is it going to go? How is it going to take us? Where do we want our journey to go, right? I mean, we have chapters in our lives. This is where I'm at today. This is what chapter I'm on today. What chapter you're going to be on tomorrow, and being able to come here and talk about this and do this. I mean, do these things here. I mean, with you, I mean, I know you're doing November, so that's coming up real quick.
We'll be walking that 22 miles with you in October. That's for sure.
I know, right? You won't be able to do that. You're like, I ain't doing that, But I mean, that's one of the things. So I planned on going just to get out there and just, spread awareness and spread the word, and just, maybe I can meet some new veterans, meet some other brothers and sisters, and try to build that camaraderie and build that environment together around each other, right? Because like me, November 10th coming up quick. You guys know what November 10th is, right? You guys already know what November 10th is, right? That's the biggest holiday in the country, November 10th. And so I gotta try to find a party to go to, take the wife out dancing or something. I gotta go do something for that. But that's one of the things, guys, is that we have got to learn how can I use plant-based medicine to help me with my normal everyday life, right? Like me, I'm super excited. Like I said, in the next 70 plus days, dude, I'm gonna be using cannabis like it's intended to be used, to be able to function, be normal, right? To be normal, to be able to function and go to work and focus and not be in pain and not dealing with the demons that are attacking me on a daily basis, And I promise, like, a lot of things that I've dealt with, that I've done, is probably due to the fact that I haven't been able to consume, and it's sad to say, but that's how I feel, and so I'm hoping that once I be able to start consuming again, it will take me off the antidepressants. It will take me off the mood stabilizers, because the terpenes and the flower itself will be able to help regulate my endocannabinoid system the way it needs to be regulated, you know? And so that's one of the amazing things about this amazing plant, guys. Like, I mean, if you guys don't believe me, I mean, I'm telling you the research that I've read, that I've seen. Brittany will tell you. There's tons of research out there. It's been done showing the medicinal benefits of this plant. They've been done, and she's looking at it, and she's doing her own thing now.
Yeah, it seems like it should be a God-given right to be able to utilize this medicine. It's the most versatile medicine on the planet, I believe. You know, it helps with a range of issues, and it has been proven to. And that's why we've gotten it to where it is now. Like, we have made a lot of progress with cannabis as medicine, but it's also lacking in so many ways. You know, I feel like in the state of Oklahoma, we call it, you know, medical cannabis, but we have doctors that write a prescription for it, and then they can't support people with it. You know, they don't know the endocannabinoid system or what terpenes work for what. And so we find, you know, patients going into dispensaries and just kind of, you know, asking, you know, the bud tender, hey, like, what do you recommend? And they get something, and it may induce something that they didn't need.
It sucks, right? And it sucks for the bud tenders, you know what I'm saying? Because some of them do know. Some of them do know about the terpenes, about what flower and stuff like that, and it may be because they consumed it, or, you know, they had a little bit of education.
And some people do extra training for it, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right, you know, but a lot of these bud tenders are like, I have no idea. Like, I don't know, you know. And this is one of the things I try to tell people. I say, look at your lab report. Look at, if you're going to a dispensary, they have to have lab reports on the flower that they're selling, right? And I know every state's different, every testing's different, right? But look at the report and see what it says, see what it's telling you. What kind of Delta 9 does it have in it? What kind of CBD, CBG, what kind of terpenes is it carrying? Is it carrying any kind of freaking pesticides? Is it carrying anything in it that's going to affect my anxiety, my depression, whatever, you know? And read it, right? Learn how to read it, right? Every lab report's different, right? I saw one lab report. I had a guest on my show from Tejas Hemp. I had the owner of Tejas Hemp on my show, and he showed me a lab report in that video. If you guys haven't seen it, go check out Tejas Hemp. He got his lab report from California, and I was like, every lab report should look like that. Like, it broke it down. It was color coordinated. It told you the moods that you should feel with this flower. It had I was like, that is a beautiful lab report. Like, it was broken down where somebody that walks in off the street that has no idea how to use this could understand it and be like, I want that feeling. I want to feel like that. It's going to make me feel good and uplifted. And, you know, it said what terpenes were in it and everything. I was like, that's how every lab report should look. Every freaking lab report should look like that, you know? And that's one of the things, guys, is that you have got to go ask for the lab report. If you want to try a flower, ask for a lab report. Can I see a lab report on this? I want to see what kind of terpenes it has in it, right? How many percentage of terpenes is it pulling? I need to know what kind of terpenes are in it and how much of it is in it, you know? And you'll get it 1-2% terpenes or whatever, you know? Apparently 2% is really good. I don't know how the percentages work, but they say 2% is really good if it's got 2% terpenes in it. I don't know. So
yeah, that's a big misconception that like just the high THC is what you want, and that's not necessarily the case. A lower THC with like a good terpene profile is what's going to really do your body some good, and you're really going to have that entourage effect and like the healing quality. So if we could get the whole country on the same page, we could set up standards like you're talking about, you know, where it was a little more transparent. And, you know, I have a friend who works at a lab here, and they have to test cannabis before they can, you know, break it down and to distill it and whatnot. And some of the stuff they get in there too is just not quality, but we're able to sell it on the market because it's, you know, there's no, I guess, like, it's legal, but it's not, but there's no, you know, it's just like, it's like,
there's no standard.
The Wild West right now.
Yeah.
It's the Wild
Well, that's what they
West.
said. That's what they said Oklahoma is. They said Oklahoma is the Wild West in the medical cannabis right now. They said Oklahoma is the Wild freaking West right now. But it's crazy because I had not too long ago, if you guys saw Ryan Early from Blue Green Venture, I had him on the show, and so he owns the largest CBD manufacturer here in Oklahoma, and he tests his product, right? He tests all his product. He said it's crazy. He said I do an in-house test so I know where my numbers are at. And then he does a third-party lab testing, right? And he says, so he does a third-party lab testing out of state. He comes back in, and then he does he gets it tested again in state. And he said, in state, there's no regulation on how they can test it. They can give you plus or minus 20% on flower. And I'm like, are you kidding me? He said, no, it just depends on how much you pay him. I said, are you fucking kidding me? He said, so if something's coming out telling you it's got 35, 40% THC, he said, probably got like 15, 20. He said, if that, he said, they got like a 20% range of that. I said, are you kidding me, dude? He's like, no, dude. But he said, there's no regulation on it, right? There's no law telling them they can or can't do it. And like you're saying, there has to be a set standard, right? There has to be a set standard across the board. Like, this is how it has to be done, right? I mean, like anything else, alcohol, if you look at all the alcohol that's out there, all the beers, wines, liquors, there's a set regulation that they have to meet, and cannabis should have to be the same way. There has to be set regulations that you have to meet, and so that's just one of the things, is just that understanding it, right? Understanding how to use it. And these poor bud tenders, I mean, a lot of them, you'd be like, I need this. I'm like, I don't even know, dude. I can't. This has 40% THC in it, though. I'm like, I don't care. Like you said, I don't care about THC. You guys know, you guys listening into my show, you guys know how I've had that amazing high, that CBD to THC ratio, man. If you can get you a good CBD flower and you can blend it with a good THC flower, dude, you getting that whole entourage effect. Like Brittany said, that entourage effect, dude, that is like the perfect high, dude. That's not a couch lock high. That's not a, that's the perfect, I feel normal and nothing can mess with me right now high. Like, this is perfect, and I probably will never find it again, but I mean, it was a great high, it was a really good high. Like you said, Brittany, it's that entourage effect, and a lot of people are like, what is that? What is an entourage effect? How do I, what? Like I said, guys, start studying, start doing some research, start having an understanding as to how does this work? Where can I do this? Cool. Like they said, they just said 38 states, 38 out of 50 states have cannabis legalized, whether it's medicinal or recreational. 38. I mean, 38 out of 50, guys. I mean, and like I tell you guys, if you live in a state and it's not legal, why? Have you learned what it takes to put something on a petition? Go find out what it takes to put something on a petition. Gather more signatures. Create a Facebook group. There's veterans out there that want to smoke weed. Guarantee it. And I guarantee they're in your state. Because I guarantee they're already consuming. Why? Because they know the medicinal benefits it provides for them. It may be illegal, but they're still consuming. And if you start bringing out ballots for signatures or whatever the case may be, whatever it takes to put some on a ballot, I bet you can get some signatures.
Oklahoma can do it.
Right? A lot of people didn't believe it. A lot of people couldn't believe it. They're like, Oklahoma legalized cannabis? That's like the freaking Bible Belt. Yep, we did it. And they're about to put adult use on the ballot this November. And so we'll see what. Well, yeah, get out and vote, man. So, Brittany, we getting close to the end of the show. How do you want to leave our audience? How do you want to leave your brothers and sisters that had an opportunity to listen to you?
Well, I'd like to thank all of my brothers and sisters, serving and past serving, for all the sacrifices and the work and passion they've poured into this country. Thank everybody for listening, and thank you, Juan, for having me on. I really love what you're doing and that you're raising awareness about this beautiful plant medicine. Like you said, it can be used to relax and chill, and it can also be used for treatment. And we can also use it to explore our consciousness and our mind and our healing. So I am forever grateful to this plant. And if anybody has questions, like feel free to reach out to me. You can reach out to me at info@whiterabbitcollective.net, kind of like follow the white rabbit, and also visit whiterabbitcollective.net for more information. But definitely do what you feel called to do, but really do your research, really sit with yourself, ask yourself why you're going about the modalities that you're going about, whether it's cannabis or any plant medicine, making sure that you're doing it in a safe setting. I'm not condoning illegal use or unsafe use. Be very careful about where you do it, how you choose to do it, who you're with, that it's done with intention. It makes all the difference in the world. And really just Love yourself, everybody. You know, you've done so much and been through so much, and we can be so hard on ourselves and get so caught up in the rut of life and doing things, and just stop to give yourself a hug. You're all beautiful, amazing souls. You know, you obviously are. If you raised your hand to serve this country, you have a lot of love to give. So give some of that to you. And I love you all. I really do. And again, if you have any questions, please reach out to me. Okay.
Great. That's awesome, man. See, this is awesome. This is what it's about, guys. This is what it's about, is coming together and knowing where your support's coming from, right? We're all veterans, right? We all brothers and sisters, man. I mean, this is one of the things that we're supposed to be doing, is helping each other find our paths, right? We serve this wonderful country of ours, and after we get out, they discard us, right? They discard us and say, okay, thanks for serving, bye, right? And it's kind of like, damn, dude, like, there's no support after I get out. But this is why I do this podcast, right? Whether you guys listen or not, turn it on in the background, dude. I gotta have background noise everywhere I'm at, whatever I'm doing, man. I gotta have background noise. You know, my wife gets upset. She's like, "Why the TV on?" Oh, it was quiet. I got 7 kids, and if it's quiet, dude, some kids are getting into some stuff they're not supposed to be getting into. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, it's nice to have background noise, even if you're working. You just have it on, right? Turn on the show, listen in, man. You can get some you can be like, dude, I just wanted to hang out. You know what I'm saying? That's why I try to do the show, right? It's like we're hanging out the smoke pit after a long week, right? We're heading out the smoke pit. Everybody's getting the alcohol. Barbecue's getting ready to start up. We're getting ready to cook and hang out and talk shit about Sergeant Gene and all the shit he had me doing this week. And you know what it's like, guys. You guys remember what it's like. And you guys that were NCOs, you be like, damn, Sergeant Gene, you were riding the asses this week. They needed it, dude. They needed it, you know. That's what it's about, guys. It's just coming together and being able to do this, man. Brittany, I appreciate you. I appreciate this wonderful opportunity to be able to come out and hang out with me and enjoy this time and talk about your journey, right? And how this plant has been changing your life and has saved your life, right? And that's the biggest thing, is just understanding and knowing how these things work and sharing your story, right? I mean, because that's the only way the word's going to get out, is if we share our stories with everybody, right? This is why I got Gunny Esteli sharing his stories with Born in a Bar. Write a book, Born in a Bar, all the stories, right? Because these stories don't need to die. We need to continue spreading our stories and how it's saved our life and how it's helping us and how it's helping us learn how to become this normal person, right, man? Like I said, guys, I want to give a huge shout out to my sponsor, Rafa 180. Like I tell you guys every episode, Rafa 180 provides the best medicinal grade CBD on the market. Go check them out, man. Check out with them. Get 15% off your entire purchase when you check out the STONED VET USMC. If you're on your mobile device, click those three little lines on the right. I got a thing that says the STONED VET USMC. If you go on your computer, you'll see a little tab up there that says the STONED VET. Go get some swag, dude. I got a cup here. Thermos, it keeps my drinks cold. I still got ice in this. It's been in here for like 2.5 hours, 3 hours already. I still got ice in it. Go get some shirts, right? I got multiple shirts. I got multiple tank tops. I got socks. I got all kinds of stuff over there. I ain't getting no sales, dude. You guys ain't buying nothing. Why? Holidays are getting ready to be here. Why not get you some cool swag, right? Go check that out, man. I appreciate it, Brittany. I appreciate you hanging out with me, enjoying this time together, being able just to hang out. And like that's what I tell my audience. This is my therapy session. I get to hang out with a brother and sister. We get to sit behind a microphone and just talk and bullshit and just let loose for a little bit, right? Before we have to jump back into life and realize, oh shit, I got a lot of kids. I gotta go take care of some shit, right? I gotta go start dinner. I gotta go do this. I gotta do that, right? Thank you, Brittany, so much, man. Hey guys, like she said, if you're going to consume responsibly. Make sure you're in the right headspace. Make sure you got the right people around that will support you. Consume responsibly. Enjoy it. Smoke a little bit extra for me. 70 more days and I'll be right there with you. I can't wait, man. Remember, guys, I love you guys. You guys are very much needed help. Like I said, if you're on YouTube, hit that subscribe button. If you on freaking iTunes, Spotify, Pandora, iHeartRadio, leave me a 5-star review. Let's get this thing moving. Let's get this thing moving out across the world. Let's hit more countries up, man. I appreciate you guys hanging out with us, man. Hopefully this was somewhat educational for you guys, man. Remember, here at the STONED VET, we got your 6.
www.rafa180.com or email at rafacbd@gmail.com. They truly believe your journey matters.
stepping by my platoon, you get trampled. If it ain't raining, we ain't training. Nothing changed by complaining. I adapt and overcome. I make the best out of situations. I stay alert for my enemies trying to do me some harm. I fight for your freedom of speech and your right to bear arms. When I say I got your six, that means I got your back. But what else would you expect coming from the Stone Vet? 1, 2, 3, 4 for my country. I go hardcore. Army, Navy.